Take the clip off real quick, the B-roll.
You wanted to go straight down the barrel?
Talk to the people.
Take the B-roll off because we didn't give Adam Silver and the NBA a congratulations today. They actually found their new face in the NBA. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama. He is the new face of the NBA. And if anybody want to argue with me, we could argue for hours or days, but you're going to lose this argument. Here's the reason why. When you talk about a guy that's embracing that role and embodying that, he wants that, right? He checked that box. When you talk about a guy that's going to perform at a high level and do things that we've never seen before, he's going to do that. When you talk about a guy that's going to put butts in the seats,
right,
not just at the crib,
correct,
but in away arenas, he does that.
But you know what the one metric that he cares about is? It's not, I mean, that's all great, the butts in the seats, and he cares about the winning piece of it. Do you think that the Spurs can catch OKC?
I do. They're only 3.5 games back. Why wouldn't they? And they want to catch them. They should want that #1 seed, because now I'm going to say this. What's the #1 knock on the San Antonio Spurs right now?
I mean, they're young. They don't have experience in the postseason.
So wouldn't you want home court through as much as possible and play as many playoff games?
That's what Detroit's trying to do.
My point exactly.
Look, I'm right there with you, Perk. Earlier this week, I was very, very high on Victor Wembanyama's performance. We saw the numbers, the 17 points in 4 minutes, 25 and 8. And, Perk, I agree with you. We're witnessing the future face of the NBA, because right now we're in a changing of the guard, right? LeBron, Steph, KD, their teams are maybe not as successful as we would have hoped. But right now, when I look at Victor Wembanyama, I think of the words world tour. It feels like he's on a world tour from arena to arena. Like the greats, he is making sure he satisfies NBA fans and shows his full level of talent. He's not sitting back relaxing. He also is the prototypical future of what the game is when it represents positionless basketball. So you're not far off, Perk. I believe you're right. You didn't say current base, you said future.
And I'll tell you this, the fact that Jalen Williams came back on Monday with a few games left before the All-Star break, that tells me that the Thunder had some concern about the Spurs catching him. That gap has closed. Obviously, San Antonio showed there ain't no fear from the Spurs of the Thunder. And here, OKC, they needed J-Dub because Shea was out, because A.J. Mitchell, who's a Sixth Man of the Year candidate, also has been out for a while. The safe, cautious thing to do would have let him just rest right on through the All-Star break. He came back on Monday, and they don't do that if they're not looking over their shoulder.
So I like looking at the NBA through tiers, right? There's a tier 1 and there's a tier 2. And I believe the Oklahoma City Thunder are tier 1 and definitely 3. And based on these tanking teams, there's definitely a 4, okay? But tier 2, the gap between 1 and 2 is getting smaller and smaller. And in that second piece, you have the San Antonio Spurs. In my opinion, you also have the Denver Nuggets. Now, they're missing a couple of key pieces, but if they're healthy, they're a team that I know that OKC is looking back like...
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we are breaking down a moment on NBA Today that wasn't just analysis. It was a declaration. Kendrick Perkins, sitting in studio, looked into the camera and said something that every NBA fan has been thinking but no one has been willing to say out loud. We didn't give Adam Silver and the NBA a congratulations today. They actually found their new face of the NBA. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama. He is their new face of the NBA. And if anybody want to argue with me, we could argue for hours or days, but you're going to lose this argument. This is it. This is the moment the league officially transitions from the LeBron, Steph, KD era to the Wemby era. And Perk isn't just throwing out hot air. He breaks down exactly why Wemby is the guy. 3 specific, undeniable boxes he checks. Box 1, he wants it. Perk says, when you talk about a guy that's embracing that role and embodying that, he wants that. This is the most important intangible. We've seen supremely talented players who didn't want the spotlight, who shrank from the responsibility of being the guy. Wemby doesn't just accept it, he craves it. He talks about winning, about being great, about doing things no one has ever done. That mentality is what separates all-time greats from all-stars. Box 2, he does the unprecedented. Perk continues, when you talk about a guy that's going to perform at a high level and do things that we've never seen before, he's going to do that. We are watching a 7 feet 4 inches player handle the ball like a guard, pull up from 30 feet, and block shots at the rim. He is a basketball video game come to life. Every game, there's a highlight that makes you say, how did he do that? That's the mark of a generational talent. Box 3, he puts butts in the seats. Perk says, when you talk about a guy that's going to put butts in the seats, right? Not just at the crib, but in the away arenas, he does that. This is the business metric. People don't just tune in to see the Spurs, they tune in to see Wemby. He's a destination. He's a must-watch. That's the definition of a franchise player and a league ambassador. The panel agrees, and they add their own layers. One analyst describes Wemby's season as a world tour, saying, from arena to arena, like the greats, he is making sure he satisfies NBA fans and shows his full level of talent. He's not sitting back relaxing. He's not pacing himself. He's not load managing for the playoffs. He's giving the people what they want, every single night. That's a throwback mentality in a modern era. And here's the kicker. They connect this directly to the Oklahoma City Thunder's fear. Tim McMahon drops a bombshell. The fact that Jalen Williams came back on Monday with a few games left before the All-Star break, that tells me that the Thunder had some concern about the Spurs catching them. Think about that. The Thunder, the defending champions, the deepest team in the league, rushed their star player back from a hamstring injury because they're looking over their shoulder at a 22-year-old rookie and his team. That's how real this is. The gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2 is closing, and Wemby is the reason. This segment is about more than just a player having a good season. It's about the passing of the torch. For 2 decades, the NBA's identity has been shaped by LeBron, Steph, and KD. They are legends. Their legacies are secure, but they are in the twilight of their careers. The league needs a new face. It needs someone who can carry the mantle for the next 15 years. And as Perk said, the argument is over. It's Victor Wembanyama. But wait, there's more. This same episode also dropped massive rumors about Chris Middleton to the Lakers, potential expansion to Seattle and Las Vegas, and the bombshell that LeBron James is positioning himself to be a Vegas owner. Shams Charania confirms that Seattle and Vegas are the front-runners for expansion, and a Western Conference team, likely Memphis, Minnesota, or New Orleans, would move east. And LeBron, who has talked about owning a team for years, is right in the middle of it. This isn't just basketball, it's big business. So, what do you think? Is Perk right to crown Wemby the new face of the NBA right now? Or is it too early? Can the Spurs actually catch the Thunder for the top seed? And does LeBron becoming an owner in Vegas feel inevitable? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you love the mix of on-court dominance and off-court business intrigue, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.